In the Fiona Harvey legal battle against Netflix, the big question that on everyone's lips is, was Fiona truly a convicted stalker? Well, you might remember that this man right here, Benjamin King, actually went in front of the Houses of Parliament and MPs to talk about the entire situation, to talk about Fiona Harvey, Netflix, but as this kind of thing began to evolve, and under oath, this is what he stated.
We did take every reasonable precaution in disguising the real-life identities of the people involved in that story. It was about Richard's story and telling Richard's story in a truthful way. I personally wouldn't be comfortable with a world in which we decided it was better that Richard was silenced and not allowed to tell his stories.
So there you go. So he basically backs the claims made within Baby Reindeer that this was actually, they made reasonable precautions. It was a true story based on the writer and protagonist's experiences, Richard Gadd, all the rest of it, right? Moving forwards, Benjamin King has since done an absolute U-turn. So Netflix executive corrects the select committee evidence on Baby Reindeer. So a Netflix executive has told MPs that the woman at the heart of the hit TV series Baby Reindeer is not a convicted stalker. On May 8th, the streaming service's director of public policy, Benjamin King, told the Culture, Media and Sports Committee that the show details the horrific abuse that the writer and protagonist Richard Gadd suffered at the hands of the convicted stalker. After the committee session, former SNP MP John Nicholson asked Mr. King to provide evidence that would back his claims and said journalists have thus far been unable to find the record of the conviction of which you referred. In the letter to the former chairwoman of the committee, Dame Caroline Dinenage, King clarified that the person whom the base was show was actually subject to a court order rather than a conviction. After the 7-part series was released in April, Fiona Harvey came forward during the claims, claiming to be the inspiration behind Martha, a woman who stalks lead character Donnie Dunn, played by Gadd. In a statement in the PA News Agency in May, Ms. Harvey said that Baby Reindeer is not at all a true story, and added, "I am not a convicted stalker." Mr. King's letter dated May 23rd said, "Dear Dame Caroline, thank you for the opportunity to speak with the Culture, Media and Sport Committee on May 8th as part of your inquiry into British film and high-end television. As I said in my oral evidence, Netflix is investing heavily in quality British TV with a string of recent hits, including Baby Reindeer. In response to the question about the character portrayed in the series, I said that it's an extraordinary true story of the horrific abuse that the writer and protagonist Richard Gadd suffered at the hands of a convicted stalker. I wanted to clarify our understanding that the person of whom the show is based, who we have at no point sought to identify, was subject to a court order rather than a conviction. The writer of Baby Reindeer endured serious harassment over many months, as it now seems has been the case for many others, which had significant impact on his well-being. At the Select Committee, Mr. King said that the show was about telling Richard's story in a truthful way. I personally wouldn't be comfortable in the world which we decided that it would be better Richard was silenced and not allowed to tell his story. In June, it was revealed that Ms. Harvey had filed a lawsuit against Netflix and accusing the streaming platform of defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence, gross negligence, and violations of her right to publicity. The next day, Gadd collected the prize for the Best Breakthrough Limited Series in the inaugural Gotham TV Awards and said that he was forever grateful to those who worked on the show. After Baby Reindeer appeared on Netflix, Gadd asked viewers to not speculate over the people who inspired the series. A Netflix spokesperson said the letter was sent to the DCMS Select Committee on May 23rd, well before the legal case was filed, and has been publicly available since. It does not, in fact, impact our legal position. The streamer, which has been seeking to have the case thrown out, also noted that every episode includes a warning saying this program is based on real events. However, certain characters, names, incidents, locations, and dialogue have been fictionalized for dramatic purposes. And that is where we end off that article. So, obviously, there is a whole rigmarole right now about how this has panned out, because, obviously, Richard Gadd, yes, basically experienced this without a shadow of a doubt. Over on Jeremy Vine, if you guys know who that is, he's basically like a breakfast TV personality, I guess. They did speak about this, so we're going to take a little look at that as well to see if we can get a bit more clarity on the situation.
In the Daily Mail, there's a I'm interested in. I've kind of got an obsession with this particular series, which is called Baby Reindeer, and we always play the trailer of Baby Reindeer. Wait, so let's just run this. Have you seen this?
I've never seen it.
Oh, you've got to see it.
I've seen the clips.
Where's
online.
the trailer? Let's run it. Let's run it.
Right, I'm going to skip the trailer because I will get done for copyright, because Netflix do me over and do me so dirty all the time. So I'm just going to fast forward. Here we go.
Order against her, which is, I suppose, like a kind of restraining order. I'm not sure she's ever going to win a case, but it just seems a bit unfair on her, Gemma.
Yeah, I think the whole thing has become incredibly uncomfortable. It seems unbelievable that lawyers didn't advise Netflix better, and indeed the writer. It seemed obvious that this was a massive invasion if you've got no privacy and you're not telling the entire truth, etc. So it's a bit of a
think
mess.
about it from their point of view. They get away with saying this is the true story because this strange person, Fiona, has no reputation. She can't really sue.
But you say based on real events.
Yeah, but they don't want to do that. They want to say this is a true story. That's what was so alluring. That's why we all watched it.
Yeah.
Everything's based on true events.
Yeah.
You say this is true.
Yeah.
But I was going to say you'll enjoy it. It's actually a hard watch, but it is.
I mean, he's not wrong there. You know, obviously the idea of it. When I saw that it was my partner Lainey who got me onto it, and she was like, this is a true story, right? I was like, do you mean like based on a true story? She was like, no, like a true story. So that's what hooked me in as well. The world was kind of captivated by the idea of this being a true story as opposed to based on a true story, because obviously there's creative liberty when you say based on a true story, but I still don't understand why Netflix don't use the workaround of it was Donnie writing the thing at the start. I've spoken about it countless times, but just that full circle moment where Donnie could be the one writing it as opposed to Richard. So
zeitgeisty.
I felt sympathy for it because you're dealing with two very emotionally damaged people as well, the writer as well, which was, again, why it was so fascinating, because the portrayal was incredible. It was really sort of complicated, but the after effects are
Have you ever had
damaging.
A stalker yourself?
Ish.
Have you? Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the weird things about having one is when you say to your friends, gosh, I got this stalker, they always end up saying, I feel quite sorry for her, actually.
Yeah. You don't feel sorry for them? No.
No. I've had one as well.
Have you? Yeah. So was yours male or female?
Male.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very troubling, isn't
Always
it?
be round taking pictures of me and my family. And stuff
Awful.
like this,
Awful.
Yeah.
Very,
And
very
that's not
scary.
Steve Bray, that's someone.
No, this is somebody else. No.
Oh, Lordy.
That's somebody quite.
Was there some court action on that?
No. I got the party to deal with it. It was,
The party?
yes. The Conservative Party.
Oh, I see. I thought that was meant you
Yeah, no, the
put the
Conservative.
frighteners on.
okay, so they didn't really touch on the fact that Benjamin King did that U-turn, but the idea is still there. The fact that, does this change anything per se? No. Obviously we watched a video yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It'll be yesterday's video for you guys. But we watched a video where Richard Roth, who is representing Fiona Harvey in California on a legal basis, obviously, spoke about how this was it was the undoing of their legal battle. It was the undoing of Baby Reindeer, and it was their inroad to win. And I'm looking at this now and looking at how this is actually written as opposed to how Richard Roth has presented it. And I'm like, this isn't really an undoing. Yes, the plot thickens because, obviously Richard Gadd has stated that it's not at all based on Fiona Harvey. But then this statement from Benjamin King completely 180s that and says that actually, the person didn't have a conviction, but they did have a court order, which, if you don't know the difference, obviously a conviction is where you go to prison, and then a court order is basically like a restraining order to a degree, which we know she did have because of Laura Ray. And, so that does kind of confirm that it was in fact Fiona Harvey. We all know that it was Fiona Harvey, let's be real. But does it change anything for me personally? No, it's kind of one of those irrelevant things once again, but I don't know. Obviously, Richard Roth is running with it. Richard Gadd is trying to defuse it. We're in a bit of a messy spot where no one seems to understand what on earth is actually going on. Well, what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump to get the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new, tick on my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload to the channel. And until next time, guys, I hope you have enjoyed. Cannot wait to see the next one, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.